Hello, hi, and welcome to Soulful Restoration with me, Lyric the Curator. I'm so glad that you have taken the time to press play and journey with me on this soulful journey of reflection and growing. Without further ado, you know how I do it. I don't like to waste time. Let's get into today's episode. One thing that makes me very happy about today's episode is that I'm drawing inspiration from something I really love, like one of my favorite things of all time, music. I love music. Okay, those who know me will tell you that I love music. I'm not even genre specific. I just love good music. Yo, I love music. So, without getting into that, let me stick to the topic of the day. I want to give you a lay of the land, of why this episode exists and why it's important to me. I've had multiple conversations over years, even with people who feel like they haven't achieved what they thought they would achieve at the age they're at. And some feel that life is redundant. There's so much they doing, but none of it feels fulfilling. It feels like life has lost that vibrance in it. Some feel stuck. Some feel like they're just working, bills and stuff. Nothing about what they do is fulfilling. Nothing about what they do is passion driven. All they've done is gather time. And then there are those who feel like they're just on this conveyor belt, going in circles, right? There's just the same thing, routine. And life has lost its color. And so if any of these sound remotely familiar to you, then today I'm talking to you. As kids, we believe that the world is our oyster. Okay, we can do anything and be anyone we would want to be. All we have to do is dream. We believe that we can change the world. We have a vivid picture of who we will become and what we will do with our lives. But slowly, that picture starts to fade as the realities force their way through. It starts with the homework. Then you're just trying to cram, pass, and forget on to the next test. And this cycle continues until you eventually join the job market, and then it's just work and bills. After a few years, or when you get to those milestone ages, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s even, where you stop dead in your tracks, look around, and wonder how you got where you are. You wonder how you lost your spark. You wonder where time has gone. All you know is that you have very little to show for it. But that's not always true. I think these thoughts and these scenarios are what give birth to what we now call birthday anxiety. It feels like we're just accumulating years and gray hair. There's no sense of fulfillment, just bruises from the grind. We have this timeline in our heads, on social media, in our families, against our peers, with all these goals imprinted, and they stick to our minds. And every time a year goes by, we compare that image we have in our heads to what we are living. And it's that gap that kills our spirit. With every passing year, the color fades from the picture of your dreams. But I am here today just to let you know that life will try its luck on you, but it will not kill the dreams that you've dreamed if you dare to fight. So the song I've drawn inspiration from is titled I Dreamed a Dream. This song comes from a stage musical titled Les Miserables. Is it? It's a French word, Les Miserables, or Les Mis, as it's popularly known. It's from a novel of the same title, so the stage play is an adaptation of the novel. Over years, they've made movies, probably 2 or 3 adaptations of movies. But yeah, the actual original novel comes from the 1800s somewhere. And the first stage play was probably done in like 1980 or 60. I don't know. But the story basically talks about the song in the play. Yeah, the song in the play is sung by a character who has lost a job, and she's lost this job because the employer found out she had a child out of wedlock. So, in the setting of the book, having a child out of wedlock was taboo, right? So, when she had this child, it's the classic story: girl meets boy, boy promises the world, girl gets pregnant, boy disappears, girl's left with the baby. Basically, you know what I mean. And then she gets this job, but she has to hide the fact that she has a child. Eventually, they find out because no secret stays hidden forever. And then when they fire her, this is when the song cues in the play. It talks about the dream she had for her life, and she juxtaposes that to the reality that she's living in now. Over the years, many musicians have taken the song, done their own take on it. So there are plenty of renditions of the song titled I Dreamed a Dream. But my favorite is by Aretha Franklin. I think it's because she has this feistiness in her voice when she sings it. It's like her delivery is so assertive. And she also kind of like changed the lyrics a bit because in the original, the last verse or stanza, if you read it as a poem, says, life has killed my dreams because the character is in despair. But Aretha Franklin was like, no, no, Momo, that's not it. Life will not kill the dreams that I dream. So I thought, let me read you, some of the lyrics from the song, take it in, and then you'll see why I chose the song for this particular episode. So I'm not going to read the whole song because some of it might get lost. Extrapolation is not for everyone. So I'm going to read the stanzas that make sense for this episode. And it reads as follows. I had a dream of days gone by, when hopes were high and life worth living. I dreamed that love would never die, and then I dreamed that God would be forgiving. Then I was young and I was unafraid, and dreams were made and used and tasted. There was no ransom to be paid, no song unsung, nothing was wasted. Then the tigers came at night, with their voices soft as thunder, as they tear your dreams apart, as they turn your dreams to shame. But still I dream. But there are dreams that cannot be, and there are storms that we cannot weather. I had a dream that life would be so different to what it seems to be. But life will not kill the dreams that I dreamed. Life must not kill the dreams that we dreamed. And when Aretha sings it, like that last line, life must not kill the dreams that we dreamed, it's like she's commanding life to attention. We'll link it somewhere. Okay, go check it out. That song makes sense. It's a very powerful song. But I want you to hold on to the part that says, life will not kill the dreams that I dreamed. We are living in tough times, man, under stressful conditions, and it's easy to lose hope and succumb to the pressures of everyday life, more specifically adulthood, because adulthood has no unsubscribe button. You're just going and going and going. But even so, it is important for you to keep your dreams in view. That's your fuel. That's your motivation. That's what gets you up every single morning. Your dreams are valid, and they should be what you're working towards. What you need to keep in mind is that this life is tough, and the journey is not a one-size-fits-all. You have to find your rhythm. Our timelines are unique to us. You may put in the work today, but only reap the fruits thereof 10 years from now. You don't always know the life cycle of your seed, and that's often out of our control. All we can do is plant and water and tend to the field, but the fruit will yield in its own time. You just have to trust the process and keep showing up. And that's where discipline is. And usually discipline isn't a problem if you have tunnel vision. And by tunnel vision, I mean if you are focused on the prize, if you keep your eye on the dream, on your passion, on your vision, the one thing your dream and your vision or your passion, whatever you choose to call it, will give you is momentum. If you employ will, your vision will give you the momentum. You must just want to move towards the goal. We get jobs and, do jobs to earn a living and get money and sustain ourselves. I mean, it's the norm. But that's not necessarily your work. So I think there's a difference between job and work, even though we use the terms interchangeably. I think our work is what we are born to do. It can be within the context of your current job or outside of it. Think of storytellers, caregivers, entrepreneurs. Those are people where you feel like they were just born to do that. There are people who can tell you stories and send you into dreamscapes you've never imagined. There are people who are just naturally caregivers. Even at work, you might be rocking up feeling sick, and then the person who has a Panado in their bag ready for you and tending to you. That's naturally innate in them. It's their passion, it's their work. And your work makes you tick. It gives you enthusiasm, it gives you motivation. It's the thing that you can do in the wee hours of the morning without getting paid, and you will have this deep sense of fulfillment. Your work pours into you, and that's usually what links it back to your childhood dreams. I think our dreams and purpose are most vivid in our childhood because that's when our innocence is still pure. And that's redundant, I know, but that is when we're most innocent. And in our innocence, we are able to connect well within the deepest part of ourselves and divinity. And that's why it's beneficial to maintain your childlike spirit, because it allows you to tap into the deepest part of your consciousness and subconsciousness. That's what keeps your dreams alive. That's what keeps you believing that your dreams are attainable. Life, as it's structured today, is designed to keep us distracted by business. We are in a constant cycle of business to the extent that we don't even have the time to pay attention to ourselves. And yet, it is within the little details within us that the answers are and where our spark lives. And when we don't pay attention to ourselves, that's when we lose touch with our dreams. But don't you ever allow life to kill your dreams. If you have to, or you've already given up on your dreams, or they're distant memory, or they're fading gray, go back and claim them. They are yours. Those dreams matter, and you were put on this earth to fulfill them. And rest assured, the journey to fulfilling your dreams will take as long as it takes. I think that's why people talk about trust the process. It'll take as long as it takes, but it will pour into you. Yours is to keep the faith and keep moving forward. Your journey is different to mine, but they are both equally important. Water your dreams, rise above the adversities, be relentless in the pursuit of your dreams. The realization of your dreams will take as long as it takes, but it'll happen. You just never know when the scale will tip in your favor. Yours is to keep the vision in sight. Work towards your goal and let life know. Look it straight in the face and let it know that it will not kill the dreams that you've dreamed. But how do we keep the dream alive, you might ask? Well, first and first, by now you know, I will say it every time I get, be courageous. Because courageous living is instrumental in living a purpose-driven life. Remember that even missed opportunities are sometimes the opportunities you did not create for yourself. And often that's because of a lack of courage. On a more practical note, I suppose, there are 5 pointers I'd give you to keep your dreams alive. 1, have allies or accountability partners, people who will keep your dream alive when you forget it, people who will remind you of where your vision was and what it was. when you seem to have lost focus for a bit. It's people who will journey with you to that promised land. Number two, keep the vision pure. Now, this one might be a bit tricky to unpack, but by keeping your vision pure, I mean protect it from desperation and provision to a certain extent. What I mean is, well, I've had a couple of conversations, multiple really, particularly with creatives, and some have, and one musician that stood out for me said they do their day job happily because it pays the bills and keeps their art pure, because they're not doing their art from a place of desperation, but they're doing their art from a place of love. So they're happy to do their day job, whatever it may be. They can change jobs every other month to pay the bills because it's just a job. But doing that and relieving themselves of the pressure of having to provide at the end of the month allows them to stay true to the call of art and what they're supposed to bring through that art. And I think it's the same for all of us. At some point, we get stuck in trying to, make ends meet, balance the balance sheets if you're an accountant, make it make sense. But in all of that, protect the vision. Because when, it comes to the economics of the stomach, the vision can get blurry. You're not sure if you are hungry or if you're still within the vision, Be able to discern the two, but at all costs, protect the vision, keep it pure. And then number three, sweat the small stuff, okay? Sweat the small stuff. That's number three. And I'm the type of person who will tell you it's not that deep, right? That's my favorite phrase. It's not that deep. And usually it's not. But sweating the small stuff simply means be intentional. Habits form lifestyles. When you start slacking on the small things, letting this slide, not giving yourself enough time to just be by yourself, not investing in your vision, maybe you're calling it a side hustle for now. If you start slacking, it's going to build up and that will be your habit. If you quit because it's too difficult or you quit because it's just doesn't seem attainable at this point in time, then that becomes your habit. Eventually, you're going to discard the whole vision you had, all your dreams, because of the habit of simply quitting things before they're done. So sweat the small stuff. Be intentional about taking baby steps. You don't have to have it all figured out today. You probably won't anyway. But every day, you put a little puzzle. It's like building a 1,000-piece puzzle. I had one of those as a child. It was a nightmare. But all those small little pieces are just like there on the floor and they look like a mess. But there's this picture on the cover of the puzzle and you're like, that's what I want to make. So every day you just decide, I'm going to take a little corner. If I can figure out how to make these 4 puzzles fit together, I'm done for the day. I'll come back and do it tomorrow or the next day. Eventually, that puzzle will come together if you keep the pieces together and don't lose any, but you will complete it. It just takes time, and it will take as long as it takes. And then number 4, rest. Rest. Yo, rest, Buffett. Rest. I think we underestimate the power of rest. This is not when you are already burnt out and fatigue has you. No, that's too late. Normalizing rest, having rest in your schedule, like schedule it in. You need time to pause and reflect. One of my favorite vocalists, Pilani Bubu, says she operates from a place of rest. I think she was on an interview with Nikki, Nikki B on Kaya. And Nikki's like, you're so busy. Like, how do you do everything? And she says, but I am operating from a place of rest. That's how I'm highly productive. I sleep when I sleep, I rest when I rest, and when I'm up, I do what I need to do. And I'm pretty much kind of the same. When you take time out, you get to reflect, you get to see the bigger picture. Because, when you're in the work, you're in the detail. You can't really see everything or where the bigger picture is landing. But when you take time out and recuperate, you also get to step back and see the bigger picture. You get to see where you are, and that then gives you guidance into what to do next. Don't rest when you are forced to. Make rest the norm. And then number 5, the last but not least, find pockets of joy in everything. There are stressful times, there are less stressful times, but there's always an opportunity to find joy. And I feel that joy comes from a posture of gratitude, right? Just being grateful for the small wins, being grateful for the small losses because they could have been worse, or even just being grateful that you have made it past the loss. You collected your L and you didn't die, and you've lived another day to try again. Find those small pockets of joy. If it's ice cream, go have your ice cream. It's your pocket of joy after a long day. If it's me sleeping, take a nap. Take that nap and find your joy in it. If you need time with nature, or you've never tried just taking a walk out in a park, I suggest you do. It's really nice. But find those pockets of joy. They will literally light up your day and your life. And so, in closing, I would like to borrow from the wisdom of a good friend of mine and also the brains behind Embo Ikaya Limville. You can check them out on Instagram, I think. They make really cool stuff, like merchandise. And if you're watching this video, they made this t-shirt. And this, from this brand, actually, this is where I got the words from. And my closing statement is this. I hope that you are still naive enough to believe in the little things that make you glow when everything around you is losing its light. I hope that you are courageous enough to be called mad in the adventurous pursuit of your dreams. I hope that you still have reasons to get up and try again. And in the times when those reasons don't resonate with the parts of you that want to give up, I hope that you still believe in the dreams that have guided you thus far. And may you never forget that you are the bold manifestations of faith from people who were told that they should not dream about reaching the ceilings beneath your feet. That's it for today. Another episode done. We are rolling down really nicely down this season 1 of Soulful Restoration. We're almost at the end of the season, I think. But don't you ever let life kill your dreams. You're not too old to refocus your lens. You're not too young to try and reach for the stars. Play your part, do your bit, and let God take care of the rest. Till next time, take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and that which surrounds you. Bye for now.